Okay, I'm going to start the recording. So we'll get started. Welcome aboard, everybody. Um, we have a special presentation by Cole. And Cole, David mentioned that if he's not online yet, that I should go ahead and introduce you. So I'm ready to do that.
Okay.
Um, your mother sent this to me. It's a glowing introduction. Uh, Cole is the operator at the Lake Oswego water treatment plant in West Lynn. He's been there for 11 years, and his prior career prepared him perfectly for this job in water treatment. He brewed beer, most recently with Bridgeport Brewing, and is very knowledgeable on all aspects of water treatment. That plant is an amazing facility. If anybody gets a chance, they should go through it. It's really incredible, very impressive. And Cole, on his own, came up with this idea of having an emergency water distribution system in an emergency. If the water connections between the house and the water main were broken and that water became contaminated, hopefully the water main in the street would still be intact and the hydrants would have good water. And so this is a system that he's developed to provide emergency water access at various spots all over town. So with that, Cole, I will turn this over to you.
Great. Thank you, Chris. And that was a nice introduction. Any chance that you can make that full screen, F11 or something?
I think you have to do that, Cole.
Actually, David's display or Chris is displaying it.
Oh,
I'm
I
sharing
see.
I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Well,
How's,
here we are.
how's that? Does
So,
that work?
yeah, it's kind of. Um, it- I guess we see most of the screen. Everybody can see it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we're all preparing, or we should be preparing for the big Cascadia quake, and we know it's going to cause a lot of damage. And I've been dealing with the emergency water system, the piecemeal emergency water system that we have at our water treatment plant. It's just kind of stuff that we inherited. And eventually I realized that we don't really have a distribution system. We don't have a way to get water into people's jugs. And we're telling everybody to save 2 weeks of water. And so I started thinking on that, and I came up with this idea about a year ago. And now I'm trying to implement it. And I need public participation. Chris, could you go to the next one?
Yep.
So basically, you've got a really nice water system. It's top of the line. It was built to withstand a magnitude 9 earthquake. Um, it's big. The first plant was built in 1969, and back then nobody was going to drink Willamette water. So you have water rights on the Clackamas River. And we pump the water 2.5 miles from the Clackamas, treat it, and send it up to Waluga Reservoir, if you know where that is. Um, this is just a bunch of data about the system. Um, it's the plant. The plant itself is built on 1,100 concrete pilings. I watched them do this. Um, because the whole river bottom down there in West Lynn, where it is going to liquefy. But we'll be there and we'll be going. And the thing I'd like to say is that if the big quake hits in our lifetime, um, after it's all settled out and everybody takes care of the fires at their house and we get power, whether it's generators and we're generator ready, or power from PGE, and we've got two different feeds from two directions coming in, we're going to fire that thing up. Um, Chances are, though, your house is not going to be connected. And so that's where the whole fire hydrant thing comes in. This is just a picture of our river intake pump system. This is in Gladstone. Uh,
Oops.
he built it right next to the old one and then took the old one down. And so that's where we pump the water from. Next slide. It's just an overview of the plant with some details on it. We built this in partnership with Tigard. I think it was a 60-40 arrangement. Uh, they did the 60 because we already had the land and a plant on site, and we had water rights, and they don't have water rights, and they were buying from Portland. And as everybody knows, Portland water, which is what I'm on, is going to get really expensive. It's already expensive, but it's going to get really expensive. Next slide, please. This is just another map. Shows the extent of the pipeline to it. Number one is where it starts at that river intake pump system. Between 2 and 3 is where it passes underneath the Willamette. If you tour the plant, there's a really great picture of them doing this. Then it's treated and it goes through town and up to Waluga Reservoir. And from there, it's connected. And at the upper right, between 5 and 6, is where we connect to Westland. Um, some more data about how the resiliency of this plant is. One of the things that we just finalized this year, took a couple of years, but we joined U.S. Geological Survey's Shake Alert system. So our computer is connected to all their sensors, which is pretty extensive. And any earthquake of a magnitude 4 or greater within 50 miles of the plant is going to shut everything down. So even though the plant was built to survive a magnitude 9 earthquake, we don't want 600 horsepower motors spinning shafts, 20-foot long shafts with weights at the end while the earth is moving. So we're going to shut everything down and then fire it back up when things are clear. And we'll be moving water up the hill and towards you. And if you're blessed to the point where it's coming out in your house, that's all good. There's going to be a lot of places where it isn't. And there's probably going to be mains that don't survive, but there will be some. And we can tap into that in a hydrant. And that is how we get people water. This is just some of my philosophies behind it. So this is based on the belief that it's easier for us to come and distribute water near you than it is for you to try and come to the water place. I've saw a couple of systems that people built, and it's like a giant system in the middle of a parking lot, and you're supposed to drive by and fill up your container. But after a big quake, I think that might be your last tank of gas for a while. And there's going to be trees down and probably some landslides. So we're going to try to bring the water to you or deliver the water next to you. It's closer. This is a kit. This is an emergency water kit hooked up to a hydrant, and that's me testing it at the water plant last year. So there's some different scenarios. First one is we have a working water main and hydrant in your neighborhood. It's tested. Once it's tested and approved, we can come and hook up to it and fill your water containers. This might be a week after a big disaster. It might be 2 weeks. I don't know how long this is going to be. That's why we have emergency water. But we will be prepared, and I have built the kits, and we're going to come to your neighborhood and fill it up. Um, Second scenario is there's a water main, but it's been lost pressure or something, which is usually why there's boil water notices. If you've heard of those, there was a couple in Clackamas a few months ago. It's a system loses water, loses pressure, and potentially contaminants could come in. We could fill up a tank, sanitize that water, give it a little time, and then fill up your jugs. Um, we could, if we need to, we can filter it into a tank and then fill up your jugs. All of those scenarios is trying to come to you with the water because it's going to be hard for you to get to the water. Last one is water trucks. There's going to be a lot of demand for water trucks after a big issue like that. One of my things further down the road is since we're going to be one of the few plants that are going to be running, I think we almost have a responsibility to be able to fill water trucks in the future. We don't have that set up yet, but once we get this all built out, I would like to, talk to the city about that. And that's just the information. I think to make this work, we need to practice with people. I've only done a couple field tests. I know everything works, but I haven't actually got out there and tried to run people through a line. So I need to know what's going on and what to do, and you need to know what's going on and what to do, and you need to be able to help your neighbors with it.
Cole,
So,
did you want to continue with the additional information, or do you want to discuss now locations?
um, sure, we can continue on.
I have questions. I
Yeah.
just kind of waited until we got through the 10.
Hmm.
Can we go back to slide 9 and the
Sure.
example that you built that is in the field type? Okay. So this is the setup that you would bring to our neighborhood in
Yeah.
order to execute this type of exercise.
Yes. There's some
And oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's some pictures of it a little further down.
Okay.
So if we continue on, so it's easier to carry than it may look.
Yeah, well, no, my question is like, how many people would you want us to rally in order for this to be like an effective exercise for you? Do you have like a general number?
As many as you can. The more the better. Um,
Okay. But is
if there's not
5
that
people worth
many,
you coming out? I mean, 10,
if there's
20?
not that many, that's okay. I can bring half of that, right? So
Okay.
there's 8 hose bibs right there. When I dropped my initial plan to the city, my calculation was with 15 of these ideally located throughout the city, working at 80% efficiency, we could give every single resident of Lake Oswego, which I calculated at 43,000, 4 gallons of water in 7.5 hours.
Wow.
So, that's not realistic. That's an ideal, but that gives an idea of what the potential is. So we could run a lot of people through this. Um, so if we
And
can scroll on down.
do you have like, so Palisades is a large um, neighborhood area. There's 13 areas within Palisades that's designated. Would you want like one kind of centrally located
No,
that everybody, or would you want to do multiple hydrants within the neighborhood?
different areas. So the whole,
Okay.
I think the basic idea of this is that it's probably going to be really hard for you to get your water home. It's heavy.
I'm right across the street. Nancy has one across the street from her too. So
Right? And hopefully that one exists and we'll be able to come
yeah,
right there
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
fill
yeah.
everybody's up. But it may not, right?
Right.
It may be the next fire hydrant over,
Yeah,
or it could
David,
be a half a mile away.
if I could interrupt, David was saying at our last meeting that each area rep should choose one hydrant for their area that would be the place. So I would think you'd want to be in the center of your area, like I'm area 8. So I looked for a hydrant that is easy for everyone to get to in area 8.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how your areas are divided up. There's a neighborhood and how many
We have a
areas?
total
There's
of
at
what,
least
12
eight,
areas,
12
Chris?
areas in your
Yeah,
neighborhood.
there are 13 areas.
13.
But I think for this test phase, I think we're making it maybe more complicated. Let's let's just pick, say, three sites. And I've asked David to contact you, Nancy, about the one that you thought would be a good site. Let's
Oh,
pick
I've let him
three.
know. Yeah.
And let's pick three, and that'll be the beta test.
And
Does,
you
does
know,
that
and
sound
you
reasonable, Cole?
it sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah,
Um,
let's
and
let's just
you
let's
don't
do
have
that.
you don't have to decide right now because since this is all fair weather stuff right now, we can wait till it's a little nicer. There's no guarantees that this is going to happen when the weather's nice. Um, but we can certainly practice when it's a little
Well,
bit
I don't. I
better.
mean, is there a reason to wait?
No, there is not.
Okay, then I'd say
I can bring an overhead thing and we could do it. We can do it when it's snowing.
okay. Yeah, I'm going to let David and Elisa, they are our emergency prep folks, coordinate with you. We'll pick a date. We'll pick three sites. They can share those locations and times with the
That's great.
rest of the board and neighbors, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And if there's no reason to wait, I'd say let's do it.
Okay.
Is
I'm
it
all for
Cole?
that.
Cole, would this happen on say like a Saturday when more people are gonna be home?
I can do it on a Saturday. I can
Okay.
do it. I work Monday through Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I can I can do it. They will pay me overtime or I can take compensation time. I can work on it because I this is kind of my baby and I want to see it go. I want to see it
Nice.
work. I've got a few more years left with the city and I want to feel like I did something
Well,
worthwhile.
I think this is a great idea, Cole. I think this is a really great idea. Salute you for taking the initiative to figure this out. I think let's let's make it happen so that the
Okay.
system is in place. Um,
Chris, could you
before
maybe
you,
scroll down a little bit? Let's
yep.
go through the rest of these. This is just a water tank, one of those portable water tanks. If I had to take water in that was potentially contaminated, I would sanitize it in that. I'd put some bleach in, I'd circulate it, give it a little weight, and then I'd fill up your containers.
Okay. Carrie has a question.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just gonna need a little bit of time to like rally neighbors to show up at our location. So we
When
need
you're
time to
ready,
promote it and
when you're ready, we'll
write
do it.
about it.
So this is a kit packed up. Two people can carry it.
Oh, cool. You should stash those places and train the people.
There's been some discussion on how to do this, and right now they're all just at the water plant because nobody is really ready to take them. But yes, they're quite portable. So this next slide, the one after, this is just something that I've got this circled. There's a lot of really good emergency information on the city's website. Um, if you care to immerse yourself, there's like the Clackamas County Emergency Plan and the Lake Oswego addendum to that, and their concerns about the areas that have less stable soil, and you could really go into it. Next slide. Next slide, Chris. This is the maps. See the little thing? I've circled the maps. That's on the city website. Next page. And this is you'd select water systems. When you open up maps, it would look like this. You would select water systems, so it shows those. And then the next page. And this is how you could zoom in. And you see those little red dots? Those are all fire hydrants. And so you could click on a fire hydrant and it gives this information that is on the left, and that has the details about the hydrant. You could do the same for the blue lines, which are water mains. So if you want to know what the underground infrastructure in your neighborhood looks like, there it is. Let me see, is there another slide? Some big things, a caveat. So this is a work in progress. It's not an approved plan. I think we can make it an approved plan. My concern is that we have as many people aware of how to do this as possible, so that if we need to use it, there's going to be a critical base of knowledgeable people that can help everybody get through it. And that's about it.
I think this is great, Cole. You go back here.
I have a question when it's
Yeah,
time.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, Cole, do you have a recommendation for, our neighbors? What type of, and maybe this is on the Lake Oswego website, but what is the ideal container they would bring to such event?
Well, I've been looking around. Eh, Andy and Bax, one of my favorite stores that's gone now, had some great stuff downstairs where all the good river gear is. But heck, you can go to Winco and buy 5-gallon jugs that are for water and that stack.
Okay.
I like the ones that are not see-through. The ones that I spoke of at Winco, they have a little place where you could add a screw-in thing. I do a lot of multi-day river trips, and some of my friends have these big 5-gallon ones that used to be at Andy and Bax, but it's similar to the lid on the 5-gallon ones that I saw at Winco the other day. And
Okay.
you can get on Amazon, you can get a little pump that's USB charge, and you can put it on your water bottle, and it will just, you hit the button and it will fill a 1 liter bottle. It's just slick. You don't have to pick them up and pour and all that stuff. So
we
there's
need to
all
move.
kinds of different containers.
We need to move on, Cole. I
Okay.
see two action items that need to happen. One is David and Elisa can figure out 3 potential sites and work with Carrie on getting that word out to the neighbors so they'll be ready. And then secondly, I would suggest again that you check with the fire department on throwing a wrench on a hydrant and accessing their water. My son's on the fire department, and I know they're somewhat possessive of their hydrants. They're not really intended for the public to go, get water. So
Yes, that's why that has to be
you don't
city
want to get
employees.
you don't want to get sideways with them out of the chute when the whole thing hangs on access to a fire hydrant.
Right. As well as the distribution crew, the folks that take care of all those pipes underground, that fix the mains, that do all the tapping.
Yeah, whatever. I just say
Yep.
let's solve that problem, or not a problem. Let's solve that issue, and then David and Elisa can pick locations. David, go ahead.
Oh, let's see if hope you can hear me. I'm not sure if I'm muted or not, but
Yeah.
great. Well, again, thank you, Colin. Yes, I appreciate this time this evening for the presentation. And I think what we would try to do is, yes, set up several opportunities to try this, probably starting with the first one in late February or early March, and then maybe carrying some as well into the spring as the days get longer and the weather gets a little warmer, to try and increase turnout. I like the idea of weekend as well. So we'll try and come back with some date options to do these different areas throughout the PNA, because if an emergency does occur, of course, we're not sure which water main or what hydrants might be working anyway. So,
Exactly.
it's going to be good to try and, randomize some of where we might do this, but also do it in a sense where most people who are able can turn out for it.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
folks.
Cole. You're welcome to stay on if you want, or whatever you would like.
Yeah, I've been delaying some stuff, so I'm going to say goodbye. And I
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, and I'm looking
Thanks,
forward to
Cole.
hearing
Take
from you.
care.
Good day.
Okay, we need to approve. Let's see, Meg, did the September minutes get sent around, Meg?
Yep, I sent them out via whatever the thing is this morning. Or actually last yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw it.
Okay,
Basecamp.
okay.
I did try to go and access that, May, and I didn't have Google access to look at it.
Oh,
So I requested Google access.
oh, see.
Okay, well, maybe we should solve that issue then and push this to February for September.
Let me see if
Okay.
can get
I
it.
had the same problem with access on Google Docs.
I'm sorry, what, John?
Said I had the same problem getting access on Google Docs.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, so let's, we do have a quorum. Do we have a motion to approve the November meeting minutes? Okay, David, anyone second? Okay, all in favor? Raise your
Aye.
hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, looks like that passes. Thank you. Chair report, still open board positions 6 and 13, and the treasurer understudy. I'll be making some calls in the next few days on that. We have a possible candidate for area 6, and I invited him to the meeting, but maybe he had a problem with the Zoom link. But his name is Dave Crittler, and Dave is a friend of mine through church, but he lives actually right behind Gail Perrick's house. Technically, he's in Area 5, but his backyard borderline is Area 6, and he does have friends in Area 6. And so I want to broach the subject today. We don't need to vote on it. I'm thinking we vote in February. I've asked him to start the process, get 5 members of Area 6 to endorse him, which is the process. But we are technically bending the bylaws a little bit in having someone who lives in Area 5 as a representative for Area 6. So I personally don't have a problem with that. I would rather have a full board of people that are active and interested. He reached out to us. He's lived in the area for 27 years, has a good network, and he reached out and said he wants to get involved, has been subscribing for about 4 years, active reader of the newsletter. So I'd rather have a full board of active participants than hang our hat on a technicality and tell someone they can't join. That's my opinion. I checked with Frederique. She felt the same. Carrie?
I think that no, I was just thinking about just to orientate, like our bylaws say that's not how we operate area reps, correct?
But just says that each area will have its own representative. And
Okay.
Area 5 already has a rep.
Yeah, me. Hey. Does he want to do the newsletter? And does he want I'm like, yay, I'll do it. No kidding. So what, just so I'm clear, because I'm not aware of bylaws. I don't read them unless I have to, kind of thing. But and you're saying that the bylaws is general, but kind of confines each area to have its own rep within those addresses. And in order, if we think that representation is more important, that we'd have to change the bylaws. We'd have to make a motion and vote on changing the bylaws to accommodate them.
Eventually.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, eventually. So what I think we could, unless unless there's a consensus of objection, I would say we could vote next week
Next
to
month.
invite him next month to invite him to join the board. Perhaps we set the rules of what this precedent will be. They have to have a network of folks in the area that they'll be representing, and it's for people that live within, say, 100 yards of the border. So it isn't somebody who lives in Area 13 who's going to represent Area 6, and that would be the vote, and then we would also agree to put it on a list of future bylaw changes, because I think we should add this to the bylaws for the future. Jenny, you got a point?
I agree. I just
Great.
wanted to say, I think if we have people who want to volunteer and help us out, if it's a little border that was created from the past, like all these numbers and borders, I don't know how they originally created. Is it based on the number of people in each area or, you know?
I don't know. Good question.
So that's it. I just want to say I support.
And I'm not sure that the areas are in the eyes of Lake Oswego formal borders. We're Palisades. I think we split it up at some point, for our own purposes into areas, but I'm not sure the city necessarily recognizes individual areas, if that's even relevant.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Okay.
governed by our bylaws, right? And so our bylaws, you said, don't specify that you have to live in the area you cover.
Well, it implies it. I was
does.
just looking for that now.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's like he lives on the border. Like he literally his address shares a border with Six. If he has people in Six that would sign his
Yeah,
recommendations.
I'm good with it. But I think it's the bylaws that we have to check to see if we're in line or not and adjust if we need to.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll come up in April when we have our general meeting, because technically the folks in Area 6 will have a chance to vote for a representative, and assuming Dave wants to stay on the board, which I hope he would, then we need to make the case for the residents in Area 6. This is what we decided, and vote for Dave.
Okay.
Okay, great. So, David, you got your hand up?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's it. Oh, a South Shore Fire Station. Boy, things are really cranking. Carrie is working overtime building our website, and there's a lot going on. We've started fundraising. We want to raise about $22,000 to pay for the campaign. Jenny Mary Kay has been an absolute godsend on the committee. She's kind of our campaign advisor to guide us and help us figure out priorities and timelines. She's been a great help. So I'm really excited. Things are moving along. We've got meetings next week on getting the endorsement team out and going on gathering endorsements. And we have a whole team kickoff Zoom meeting on Thursday. So things are moving along. Had a good meeting with the union this morning. They're going to endorse it, I'm sure. And we met Carrie and Jeff Goodman, who's also director, and I met with the mayor yesterday to strategize our fundraising. So things are moving along. I'm very excited. Okay. Vice Chair report, Carrie.
Yeah, so I am going to use this time to share my screen and discuss, and please tell me if you see a community survey presentation.
Yes.
I'm going to go very quickly. Please stop me within the presentation if you have questions. So in the past, there has been different years, there's been different initiatives to conduct a survey. We want to continue that. I've met with, ooh, can I change it? Okay, good. Jenny and Elisa, thank you for your time. We sent some recommendations through the group and with Chris. But during our meeting, we've just made some, general statements of why we should conduct a community survey. Everybody seemed to be on point with the same understanding, transparency on what we're working on, developing, topics that we may not be aware of in the community, but it definitely gives our residents the opportunity to tell us what's important to them. So we feel like MailChimp's the best way to create it because it's a tool that we use for our newsletter, our monthly newsletter. It's, we have almost 1,000 subscribers at this point. So we're going to create it in MailChimp and then distribute it through the same, through our newsletter and our website. And then, of course, promote it on all our channels, word of mouth. It's going to have a nice little handy shareable link that you can send personally out to your neighbors if you have that sort of relationship. Timing. So here's like something to pay attention to. Actually, I'm going to go to the next one because that's, we've finalized the categories with Jenny and Elisa and I. We are working on questions. So if you haven't heard from us, you will. That's in progress and drafting a shared document to send through the group within the categories to comment on. For example, we're not asking about trees, but we're asking about traffic and pathways. We're going to be asking about feedback on parks and rec. So not every category or committee is going to have questions, but the ones that seem to be the most important to our neighbors will. And we need to test with the board and prior to our February meeting. So you're going to start hearing a lot from me leading up to the board meeting where we're going to create a category in MailChimp and send it to all you folks. And we would like for you to take the survey and come in the February board meeting with feedback, any sort of feedback. But this is our test. So we need your participation. And then it will launch officially on February 18th, which is following our February meeting and following the acknowledgement of moving forward with, the South Shore bond or the bond for the South Shore Fire Station. There will be questions regarding the taking a temperature on at least Palisades residents on that bond. So just put everybody in your brain leading up to the February meeting. We need your help. That's additional to the categories that we're going to be focusing on doing questions for. I went into the meeting with Jenny and Elisa being like, it's going to take people 10 minutes. And they're all like, 2 to 5, Carrie. So once you go into your email and look at what I sent you as an example, I think you guys are going to be very happy with my taking you literal on your 2 to 5 minutes. But we still have to develop a little more of the questions.
So everyone should time themselves.
Yes, please time yourself. That will be part of the ask. Thank you for mentioning that, Jenny. Anything else, Jenny and Elisa, to add before? I mean, we're just basically at questions. So
I think the tool gives you the analytic of how long it took somebody. I think it doesn't.
Oh, maybe after, but when I was doing it, in the link that you guys have in your email, like it doesn't tell you as you're doing it how long it's going to take you. It doesn't have that progress bar.
As we tested it. I was thinking as we, as board members, test it, it'll give you, Carrie, analytics. It took people an average of that. The survey, most of the survey software I have does that.
Okay, great.
So might be easier than everybody tracking, but it's nice if everyone tracks too. But I think you should be able to get that data.
Okay, cool. In MailChimp. I see what you're saying. Thank you.
Yeah. I love this. I think this is going to be so important. Thanks, Carrie, for all the work you're doing on this.
You and Jenny joining me was really helpful. Helped me kind of like reorientate myself to expectations. Just a heads up, Nancy, I'm going to be reaching out to you about Parks and Rec. And David, I'm going to reach out to you regarding emergency prep. And Chris has already responded regarding the South Shore Fire Station initiative. So, but there are some outstanding uh, tasks for me to do. So that is coming. I really just
I'm
want you to
wondering,
look.
thanks so much, Carrie. I'm wondering if, and this might be too complicated, but I've really been eager to do some polls, using Nextdoor to do some polls. So I'm wondering, would you be open if I did a poll, like what kinds of things would you want to learn from a survey, or, because we really need that for engagement on our Nextdoor. If we could dream up a little. The polls on Nextdoor are just like one question. What most interests you about your neighborhood? Something like that. I could do that.
Yeah, what about if you took like individual high interesting questions from the poll and like do that question in particular, like
That
over
would
a
be
series of
interesting.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look at that and I'll circle back with you on that.
Yeah. Because there are some
'Cause-
really like there are more priority, like some of them are more priority than others, like to get feedback on.
Yeah. Okay. Can I
I
circle
love
back
that
with you? I'll
idea.
just send you
Yeah.
an email. Okay.
Yeah, I love that idea though. Anybody else? Excellent. Next. Uh, I think you're muted.
Community service grant, that's the next on the agenda.
I took that off the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
I don't have an update. We're because of our organization status as a Palisades Neighborhood Association, it's complicated how they process their reimbursements and that we would have to take all the money and then reimburse, where I wrote the grant to reimburse directly to vendors, making that part of the effort to use all of Lake Oswego vendors. So like the grant money went directly to Lake Oswego small businesses. But because of how they process invoices for the grants, they're now put us kind of on hold because that's not how they want to do it. We did talk to the mayor about it yesterday. He seemed like he was more interested in us executing for them than that particular snag. So I need to follow up with Madison. And honest, I've been sick, so I just haven't been able to do it. But I need to sit down with her and say yes
Yeah,
or no. I don't care. Just tell me so we know what to do. That's it.
yeah.
So that's my
Okay,
update.
John, treasurer's report.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so our current balance in Home Street or Mechanics Bank is $281.53. We've got $60 worth of pending reimbursements that have not been submitted yet. There's a $100 minimum for submitting reimbursement requests to the city. So once additional receipts have been submitted, I'll then submit them for reimbursement. The 4 months of base camp fees, which is July, August, October, and December, was paid by Frederic. I've made a $60 withdrawal from our bank account and sent the check to Frederic for reimbursement. So as usual, PNA residents are encouraged to donate to our neighborhood association. For information about projected expenses and how to donate, refer to the Get Involved and Want to Donate page on palisadesneighborhood.org. That's all I have.
I should also mention, thank you, John. The state tax law allows couples who file jointly who have less than $150,000 taxable income per year to give $100 to a political action committee and get 100% tax credit on that amount. So basically, if you give $100, say, just to name one, the Lake Oswego Fire Station Rebuild Pack, $100, what you're doing is you're transferring what was $100 in state tax to the to our committee. It doesn't cost you anything, assuming you're under 150,000 in combined, in your income. Check with your tax person, of course, but it's a good way to give a little bit of money and not have it cost you anything.
Okay.
That does not apply to the P&A, unfortunately, because P&A is not a political action committee. This is just for political campaigns. Okay, committee reports. Jenny.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I have nothing to report right now from the Education Committee.
Okay. E-Prep. David?
Well, good evening. I think just in follow-up to Cole's presentation, I'm sure I'll work and Nancy and others to try and coordinate opportunities this spring. We'll probably, as just I'm thinking, look for maybe an opportunity at the end of February, and then also maybe a couple other months here in the spring as we head towards the summer to get opportunities to test out the emergency water options and different hydrants in different areas of P&A. I think too, and Chris, I haven't had a chance to round back with you on this, but it sounds like Prep LO is interested in meeting with the different P&A or different associations here in Lake Oswego, and it'd be great if we can look to have them present to us here in 2026. If that's something that seems to fit with our
Sure.
overall as they can
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. It may be that February can work if they're able.
Yes, I know they've presented to Waluga, Bryant, some of the other associations, I think, and so I think it'd be great to get them an opportunity to be in front of us as well. And that's really about it from the emergency prep side of things. Elisa and I had a meeting this evening as well before this with the Community Health and Resiliency Board. Elisa, I'm not sure if you have anything to add from that meeting as it pertains to emergency prep.
No, I don't. I think, thanks, David. You're always so great for just kind of quickly, succinctly wrapping up. We're good.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I
Great.
think that's it from our position today.
Nancy Parks.
Hey, I have no updates for parks. I sent a request to Kira. I have not heard back yet. The only thing that's really hanging in the balance right now is the Lusher Farm land use application to the county. And I know it was quite a big bite that we're taking to get that done. It was taking a long time. So I don't know if that's submitted to the county yet. That's what I'm waiting to hear about. The other thing I'll mention that I noticed when I just checked the city page is Jeff Monroe is officially now the director of Parks and Rec.
Oh, good.
Before he was interim, now he's the guy.
Good.
So it's official. And that's all I have this time. I can update in writing if I hear from Kira before our next meeting.
Okay, perfect. Meg, do you have anything on Ken's project? I don't, I'm afraid.
I don't. The only thing I know is that the DRC hearing has been moved to January 22nd. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go since I'll be in Mexico that week. So I'll try to call in, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. So I was going to plan on writing something for testimony. I haven't seen any written testimony in the file yet, just what the city has done, their packet. So I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is why it keeps getting postponed.
Yeah, it's good. This is second postponement. I plan to attend and speak, and I've been trading phone messages with Ken to find out what's going on. He's been traveling, so hopefully we'll connect. If there's something that I think is important, I'll send it around to the board so you'll have it. Carrie, communications technology. Anything on subscriptions, website?
Can I just say no?
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, newsletter went out on time. We have same stats of opening, pretty much consistent, with what we've done in the past. We did have I don't know who was copied on it, but there was a moment when our website went down and Joe jumped in and fixed it quickly. I just want to report from communications with him that was not to do with our website. It was actually due to the server that he manages all his websites on. So that wasn't our problem in particular. So I just want to clarify that to the group. So yes, I did have an update. Thank you. That's all.
Okay.
Do we
Okay,
know why
great.
the links didn't go out for tonight's meeting? The Zoom link do we have a glitch with that?
I think we do. We talked about that before the meeting,
Okay.
and Carrie, I don't know whether it's certainly not me. I'm not techie, but
I just re-registered and got on. I was a minute too late, but
okay.
I think,
that.
yeah, so we have this like ongoing meeting that's set up in Zoom that's like historic, right? So it's been going on. And I think
Yeah.
because Zoom's making so many updates right now to their enterprise, like something got unclicked. So I need to log in with Chris's login or the association's login and just look at what's going on. It's just an automatic thing that kind of always happens. So I'm glad we noticed that that didn't happen, so we can go and look at
Right.
it.
Everyone raised their hand who had a trouble getting a link back from Zoom to log in. One,
I
two,
saved the
three,
link because
four,
it never
five,
changes.
six.
So I just
Okay,
went to my saved link and logged in that way.
so
But
it's the same number. It's the same code and password number, right?
Yeah, but they weren't giving us the password or the code, which they normally do. So there was never any
gotcha.
confirmation that you even registered. In my case, anyway.
Yeah.
That's the issue,
Yeah.
Chris.
We should just stop with this registration and our meeting, just have the link and click here to join our meeting. Like if someone is going to be wild and we have to mute them, then there's a real issue. Like be more
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
in,
it's
like
fine by
even
me.
to find it, like just really cumbersome. Let's just have it there on the main website for the week.
Simple as good. I don't know that we've ever rejected anyone's request for the link. I think that's good. Can we do that, Carrie?
Yeah, it's super simple. It never changes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, good idea, Jenny.
I'll
Okay,
do it
anything else?
tomorrow.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have a next door report, and I'm wondering if I should be a part of Carrie's comms report because it kind of all fits together.
Yeah.
So next door, I won't tell you what our page views are because they went down. That would be a bummer to talk about, so we won't talk about that. But we have maintained we have not dipped below 1,000 views on our posts. I'm still doing posts once a week. I do want to make them more relevant, because obviously we got to get engagement with people to get the numbers up. So I think the polling idea I talked about is going to be, I want to try that and see if that helps. And I just want to say also, thank goodness for Carrie because I repurpose Carrie's content. And yay, Carrie.
Great.
But I think if we got stuff in, like, what do you most wanna, your Palisades Neighborhood Association to do or work on or, get the engagement that way, I think will really help our numbers a lot.
It's easy. Yeah, let's do that. That's like even outside of the structure of our survey, because like we kind of know by clicks of what our high categories are. Let's just list them and see where people fall.
And
Yes.
I've made the P&A my favorite and all that, but I don't get a post every week. I get all kinds of junk, but nothing from P&A. Maybe at the next meeting you can walk us through how to do that to make sure that we're all getting the post so that we can all reply back, hey, this is great news, or I agree we should do such and such or whatever.
It's not showing up in your feed. And I could talk to you, Chris, about how you have your feed set up if you have,
Okay.
and I will add to I've got a document already in Google Docs with the what to do. You are my faithful follower, Chris, so I think you're responsible for some of our numbers here. But It does kind of limit you. Yeah, we could talk. I'll add more to the Google Doc. I'll talk more about it next meeting.
Okay,
And
great.
everybody else, if you can help us out by being on Nextdoor and liking the post, it'll help. So that's my appeal to y'all.
Great. Okay, anything else?
I just
Good
want to
job,
say
team.
thank you to setting up the meal train for Frederique. I've been thinking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I get comments when I go to NCC and around town. I get comments on, boy, you Palisades, you guys really have your act together. You are the standard of how a neighborhood organization should be organized. And I'm so proud of what everyone on the board is doing. I mean, you guys all have an oar in the water, and I really appreciate that. Makes it really fun and an honor for me to be part of a team where everybody's engaged and doing good stuff. Thank you. Okay, with that, we're adjourned. See you guys in February.
Thank you all.
Happy New Year.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. See ya.